Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. Wishing you all a happy long weekend. Here's to a fun 4th of July long weekend to all my American friends and colleagues, and happy Canada Day long weekend to those in the Great White North. Whatever you're celebrating, whomever you're with, and wherever you may be in the country, have a fun and safe long weekend. And thank you for tuning into Tech It Out. This is episode 302. That's right, we recently hit the 300th episode milestone, and as part of that celebration, we gave away a stunning Asus laptop to a randomly drawn winner. His name is Mitch Goldstone. It's the Asus ZenBook 14 OLED laptop. I just shipped it out to him in California. All right, we have a great Tech It Out plan for you today. We're going to kick things off with a Twitter competitor called T2. I caught up with the ex-Twitter employee at the recent Collision conference in Toronto, and he's now the founder and CEO of T2, and it's going up against the big bird. He'll tell us about the T2 platform and how it's far less toxic than Twitter. Also on Tech It Out this hour, ADT and Google have forged a partnership when it comes to protecting your home. So we'll get the 411 on that, ADT being the biggest name in home security, and of course Google, the behemoth that they are. You're going to love what they're working on together. And finally, tech expert and all-around great guy, Mario Armstrong, will join us to talk summer gadgets for the outdoors, including tech for your backyard, like an automatic sprinkler system, outdoor smart lights, and so on. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by Asus, which I'll tell you more about shortly. Let's kick things off. As I mentioned, I attended Collision Conference this week in Toronto. It's a big tech show, about 37,500 people to see speakers, visit company booths, networking, of course, engaging in workshops and roundtables, all tied to various tech industries, whether it's fintech, like digital banking, health tech, AI, entertainment, mixed reality and gaming, robotics, automotive tech, and much more. Startups can find investors, investors can find startups. Municipal governments are here to chat about why companies should set up shop in their city and what incentives they offer. And so I'm going to play an interview that I recorded with Gabor Chele about a Twitter competitor. All right, we are here at Collision Conference 2023. This is in Toronto, my hometown, and I just had an opportunity to see on the stage Gabor Chele, CEO of T2 and founder. T2 is one of the few Twitter competitors that is garnering quite a bit of buzz. It's no secret that Twitter has been a bit, let's say, tumultuous since Elon Musk took over late last year. Talk to us a bit about that, because you were at Twitter and you also had a company acquired by them. Please tell us a bit about your history before we talk about T2.
Yeah, absolutely. My previous company called Nemo Media was acquired by Twitter in 2014, and I worked there until 2016. It was a pretty dynamic time even back then. This was the time when Dick Costolo, who used to be the CEO, handed over the reign to Jack Dorsey, who was the part-time CEO of Twitter. And I was working as a product manager on the main app. I loved working on Twitter. I didn't necessarily love working at Twitter. That was a pretty dynamic company even before Elon took over. And then what happened was, as Elon took over, my good friend Sarah Oh, who was working on trust and safety at Twitter, was laid off that very first Friday. And it got me thinking, what would it take to build another Twitter, especially if the current one as we know it is going to go away, because that was the vibe back then on Twitter.
And it is true that a lot of advertisers pulled out, and that's the main revenue source for Twitter. Is that fair? And if so, can you quantify that?
Yes, there's been reports that Twitter has lost 59% of its US ad revenue since Elon took over, which obviously is a big cut from advertisers.
It's also quite a toxic platform still.
Yeah, it's a real problem. 41% of US adults have experienced some harassment online, and also hate speech is on the rise on Twitter, as researchers have found. So it's a real problem that we are trying to address in part with T2.
Without further ado, tell us about T2. What is it, and how is it different than Twitter?
Yeah, so it is at t2.social, and we are trying to build the kinder, safer, more fun public square. And part of what we're doing is we're starting really small with a smaller community that is growing. We have a wait list of people that we're slowly pulling from, and we've grown to about 8,000 as of this morning, but we just dropped a lot of invites at Collision. So
I'm 8,001 because I just signed up.
There you go. So 8,001. So we're slowly growing. We're trying to really responsibly build the platform and build in moderation tooling, but also build in nudges. So if you're trying to go on T2 and you start insulting other people, our AI will catch that and will nudge you before you even post to maybe not say that or maybe rephrase that.
So it won't censor you, but a little pop-up bubble will say, hey, do you really want to say this? Most people don't use profanity on this platform, is I think the example I saw on stage, the screenshot. You still can, but you're nudged not to.
Yeah, I think many people just don't read the community guidelines that are posted on Twitter or also on T2. We have community guidelines. It's a long document, and I think only very few people read it. So I think many people don't actually mean to say something not nice on the platforms that they're on. And
I don't know about that.
Well, with the nudge that we have, if you still post what we had nudged you away from, then we know that you did it deliberately, which I think is an important distinction to make.
And what if somebody writes something that's sexist, racist, ageist, ableist, what have you? Do they get kicked off the platform?
Yes, so that is against our community guidelines, and we would warn them, potentially suspend them. It kind of depends on what exactly the context is, what exactly was said, and what the intent was.
As a public square, is it similar to Twitter in the sense that there's breaking news that comes down the feed? From a content perspective, flow or interface, does it differ in any way?
Yeah, we actually went back to the 280 character limit. I really like that. I think constraints fuel creativity. So we have a 280 character limit on T2. Because we're very small and we haven't focused that much on trying to get celebrities onto the platform, it has a community vibe right now. There is news. There are some journalists on there who are sharing the articles. There's some news outlets also on T2 right now. So we're seeing some of that emerge. But it's really early. It kind of feels like Twitter used to feel back in the day, that sort of magical moment when you were like, wow, this really connects me with the whole world. We're just seeing that emerge.
Is it daunting to know that Zuckerberg, like Meta, is also working on a Twitter-like social media platform? They haven't had the best track record in trying to reproduce other social media success stories. Is that inspiring or is that deflating?
Yeah, I think it's no surprise that Meta is trying that Facebook is trying that. Previously, they've tried to clone Snapchat with something called Poke, kind of had its moment, and then it was discontinued. With Hobby, they cloned Pinterest, and with Lasso, they cloned TikTok. And I think what happens in these large companies is you get your promotion to level +1 for having launched the product, but then sort of fade out of view. The other properties that Meta owns, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, have 3 billion daily active users. So even if you got the entire Mastodon universe to come over to the new Facebook Twitter clone, that would be about 8 million users. So it would be a rounding error for Facebook. So I'm excited to see it. It might go places, but the track record hasn't been perfect.
We're chatting with Gabor Celi, CEO and founder of T2, a new public square going up against the likes of Twitter. We're here at Collision Conference. You were fantastic on stage, by the way, being interviewed in a fireside chat, and thank you for carving out a bit more time with us right now. What would you say to those who are on the fence? Like, they're not happy with Twitter, or maybe they even are, but they want to give T2 a try. What is the real motivation? Maybe they don't want a gentler, nicer, kinder social platform.
Yeah, then we're not for them.
How do you move these masses of people over? I mean, I know Post has tried and Mastodon. I don't know how you just start, I guess.
Yeah, one by one. We started on day one of launching T2, which was on December 9th, with 6 accounts on the platform. Now, this morning we had 8,000. With you joining, we have 8,001. So I think it's literally just putting one step in front of another.
The fact that you worked for Twitter, obviously, and Sarah as well. Sarah. So obviously that gives you a bit of an edge when it comes to raising capital. How's your investing going?
Yeah, so we've raised an angel round that we announced in January. That was $1.4 million, so a smaller round. And I think we've really done a lot with that. And we've built out T2 in a way that I'm proud of what we built. For us, we are going to monetize at a later point, so raising more venture capital will be one of the next steps.
All right. And then finally, is it solely an app, or can you get on web like Twitter as well?
Right now, it's just on web. And Twitter started on the web as well. And web on mobile phones has really evolved over the last couple of years. So that's where we started, because it allows you to discover the content on T2 without downloading an app.
And it would probably require you to keep downloading an update as you're getting it ready for mass adoption, which would be probably annoying for those who have the app, because there's going to be an update all the time.
That's gotten a little bit better with recent versions of Android and iOS, but we really wanted to start with the web. It's open. You can go to t2.social and sign up in your browser without downloading anything.
To play devil's advocate, though, what if you don't see that icon on your home screen? You may forget to go there.
Well, recent changes in iOS and Android allow you to add any website to your home screen, which many people actually have. Okay. So we've invested in making that a really smooth experience. Eventually, we will have an app, so don't worry, but it will take a little bit of time.
And then finally, a call to action. What's the website? T2.social?
That's right, yeah.
And I need to ask you, it has nothing to do with Terminator 2.
It's the first name that came to mind. When the domain.social was on sale, this all started happening, and I bought it for $7.16 on Namecheap.com, and it's served us well since. Eventually, we're going to have to find another name. We just haven't found one yet.
Oh, it's a placeholder name, but I like T2. I mean, it also suggests Twitter 2.0.
Yeah, if you own any great domains.
I'll leave that up to my listeners. If you're squatting on any of them, reach out to Gabor Celle, my guest. His last name is spelled Cselle. You can find him on LinkedIn, as I have this morning, and be sure to sign up for T2 at t2.social. You'll be one of the first in the world to try this digital town square. Thank you so much, Gabor. Have a great rest of your show.
Thank you, Mark.
Again, the website is t2.social. When we return on Tech It Out, we chat with ADT on their partnership with Google to protect your home. Stick with us. We'll be right back on this special long weekend edition of Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, and that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, accessories like monitors, mice, and keyboards. There's mobile tech like smartphones and tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. In case you missed the news, ADT, arguably the biggest and most trusted brand in home security, announced the availability of its new ADT Self Setup smart home DIY security system in partnership with another huge name in tech, Google, and all controlled with a new ADT Plus app. Joining us to share the news is Wayne Thorsen, Executive Vice President and Chief Business Officer at ADT. Welcome to Tech It Out, Wayne. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Mark. Happy to be here.
Great. Now, before we talk about the first fully integrated DIY offering from ADT and Google, please tell us a bit about ADT, the company.
Yeah, founded in 1874, so been here a minute, 150 years.
Wow.
Offering a safe, smart, and sustainable solutions for people, home, and businesses all over the United States. ADT was actually founded in Baltimore, and we do a lot still in the community in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. It was originally the American District Telegraph Company, and Edward Callahan, and he had a break-in. And so he created this telegraph-based call box to signal for assistance to a central office, and it quickly connected 50 other homes, and then went broader all across Baltimore and many other cities. And that was the creation of the first commercial alarm system.
Wow, that's just so awesome. American District Telegraph, or ADT for short, established in 1874. Tell us a bit about ADT's partnership with Google. How did it come to fruition?
Well, it's interesting because I was actually on the Google side of this. So, up until a few months ago, I ran the business development teams for Google's Devices and Services division. And one of those business units that we worked with was our Nest team. And so the Nest team inside Google actually was the consolidation of what was Google Home and the Chromecast team. And then the Nest team was an acquisition that was made several years before and was actually independent, and they merged that in with Google Home. They evolved their hardware division inside Google. And one of those things that we were doing during this period is we were thinking about, what it is that we want to focus on. What is it that we think was going to create the most helpful home? Where could we, really, we as Google, where could we be the most helpful to people? And as we were thinking through home security, we started really thinking about the people who were doing it really well, ADT, of course, being foremost among those. And how could we offer something more to them? Jim DeVries recently had become the CEO at that period. And so he and I had started speaking during that time. And we started thinking through how could we add daily use cases into the experience that people had. So there was something much more valuable, knowing when packages were delivered, knowing when your kids got home, in addition to the safety that ADT provided, not just obviously from intrusion, but pro monitoring for smoke alarm, for CO, aging in place.
And that's a huge trend today, yeah. Living longer independently at home. So peace of mind, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And peace of mind often, though, is one component of it, but you also want to have daily use cases that are maybe not as, preventing something as catastrophic, but that daily utility really helps with engagement. And people want both. And you know what? Because the devices are smart enough now, you can have both. And so that's what we started to figure out. How can we add our daily value against these massive, life-saving emergency values, and how can we put that all together and create an experience that provides both? And that's what we started working towards.
Yeah, it sounds like a perfect marriage. So ADT and Google. So we've got this new ADT Self Setup smart home security system. So again, it's a DIY approach. Can you talk to us about it?
Yeah, so this is a huge initiative for us with Google. We started those discussions in 2019, and we made the announcement of the partnership in 2020, and then we really got to work. And so in order to really make this work, we had to create our own platform. And so ADT had traditionally been almost a systems integrator of many other people's devices and services. And now, we're working with our own hardware in addition to Google's hardware, in addition to many other, great partners. This is our own platform for the first time. And what it does is it integrates, all of the features of Nest and Google Home and all those wonderful things that can happen because of the great machine learning that they do with their cameras, in addition to all of our, award-winning pro monitoring to provide all of that, and the hardware partners that we work with, as well as things like smart monitoring and things of that nature that are, of course, industry leading and are really unique innovations as well.
All right. Could you elaborate on how ADT now integrates? So Nest is a collection of cameras, and there's the thermostat, video doorbells, and all that.
Yeah, and the Google Assistant devices, the hubs, the thermostats and devices are all controllable through the app. All of the camera clips are all available in the app. And in fact, being a Nest Aware subscriber or having those cameras allows us to do things like alarm verification that we were never able to do before. So the alarm verification it reduces false alarms, in some cases by over 50%. This is a big thing for security.
And do you mean like a home alarm if someone broke in, or do you mean CO2 or smoke alarm?
What we're really talking about is more intrusion. So what happens here is video verification comes about in two different ways. So if an alarm event is triggered, what happens now, and in many cases, is just where the zone where the alarm was triggered, that's the only place where you're going to see a clip. In this case, it actually looks across all clips, and we use some of the machine learning to determine, hey, did something suspicious happen over here before an alarm was picked up?
And I know there's more to it, Wayne. We are joined by Wayne Thorsen, EVP and Chief Business Officer at ADT. When we return, we're going to learn more about the ADT Self Setup Smart Home DIY security system and its partnership with Google. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Wayne Thorsen, EVP and Chief Business Officer at ADT. We're learning about this new partnership with Google. It's the ADT Self Setup Smart Home DIY security system. Before the break, Wayne, you were talking about the different kinds of video verification. So wanted to continue on with that thread.
Absolutely. In addition to that, because of the integrations that we're doing with PSAPs and with other things, we're able to send to a PSAP an electronic payload and let the PSAP know electronically that there is an emergency. So things happen much faster. And because we're able to rate through our verification, the understanding of how dire an emergency this is, because we have video verification, because we have some level of sound verification, this accelerates response from emergency services. So this is really an extraordinary thing that is starting to happen. So it's not just the reduction of false alarms, it's also an acceleration of response from emergency services.
So I did want to ask you about ADT Smart Monitoring. I'm not sure if that is the same thing you were just chatting about. If so, does this notify you when you're at home only, or if you're on the go? You mentioned an app. You could be notified that there might be an incident happening at home?
Absolutely. Both you and emergency contacts can be notified, not just in the home, but it's also on the go. When you get an alarm notification on your phone, as an example, you can verify it immediately so that it goes immediately to a 911 call center. You can say it is a false alarm. One of the things that happens quite a bit, as you know, is there are false alarms. And because of the prevalence of false alarms, it causes all sorts of first responder issues. It's expensive, right?
Yeah.
When there's a dispatch that wasn't needed, but also your emergency contacts. Your emergency contacts can be part of this. If you were unavailable or you were not there, they can also verify whether there was a verified event or not.
If it isn't a false call, Wayne, is it police services who are dispatched, or is it private security, or it depends on the city or state that you're in?
It's going to go to a 911, and so it's going to be a police dispatch, absolutely.
Okay.
But our agents are involved and can help monitor and facilitate this. So like a quick example, front door window entry may have caused an alarm, but the backyard camera may have caught someone walking around the side of the house. So because we have video verification, traditionally an alarm system with video verification, even if you have that, would have only pulled the video from the single zone that caused the alarm. Now with smart monitoring, we pull all the video from the cameras, and the machine learning would look for anomalies and things of that nature that may have led up to the situation. And so this allows you not just to understand if there was an event to verify that there was, but also provide details and context of what the event is, which is helpful obviously for the homeowners, as well as our monitoring agent, as well as the first responders who would be responding to that.
Can you tell us what you can do with the new ADT Plus app?
Absolutely. So in addition to access...
Absolutely. Sorry. I thought that's what you said. It was Father's Day last Sunday, so dad joke.
I think that's actually going to have to be my email signature. That's unbelievable. I don't know how I missed that before. So I think accessing the live streaming and interacting with people who are at your front door, seeing all the clips, getting package notifications, getting familiar face notifications, all of the things that we love about the machine learning that's incredibly helpful from Google, for sure. Two-way talk, being able to control your thermostats, being able to control lights, any Z-Wave devices in your home, smart lock, all of that through the app and all in one place and all coordinated together. This is incredibly important to have these devices also integrated with an alarm system. In addition to that, there is, of course, as we were talking about, the smart monitoring, all of this, of course, backed by our professional monitoring.
Now, before we wrap up, I know this is a DIY system, but do you need to be tech savvy in order to set it up and use it? Could you maybe just walk us through the process? And I'm sure it's modular as well. You can start with some Google Nest devices and then augment what you already have with additional sensors and cameras and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the benchmark that we use for the product team is our chief technology officer's mom. So if she can do it, we can all do it. Is Raya, our chief technology officer. Her mom is she uses as the benchmark. So no special tools required to set up your ADT hardware. You don't even need a screwdriver. And step-by-step instructions are in the ADT Plus app, and they walk a customer through the activation steps. For some of the Nest devices and Google devices, and occasionally a screwdriver is required, but simple step-by-step instructions are provided in the Google Home app for those. On average, it takes about 15 to 30 minutes to set up a system, depending on how many sensors you want to place.
And I know this is customizable. Does that also include the different kind of monthly contract options? Maybe you can talk to us about costs. How much does the ADT Self Setup Smart Home Security System start at? And what's the call to action? How do we get going?
Yeah, so ADT.com is a perfect place to get started to build your own package. The packages can start as low as $155, and the monthly contract options can start at $24.99 a month.
Oh, okay.
ADT.com, that's a place to get.
ADT.com. And again, this new partnership between ADT and Google, the DIY solution is called ADT Self Setup. And that's the smart home security system for both homes and small businesses, once again. All right, Wayne, great to chat with you. Thanks so much. Congrats on this big announcement. Very exciting times for ADT. Almost 150 years after the start of the company. Thank you so much again, Wayne. All the best.
Mark, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And congrats on 300 episodes.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that too. That's nice of Wayne to say that. As I mentioned off the top of the show, Tech It Out started in July of 2017, so exactly 5 years ago. And we just celebrated our 300th episode and had a big giveaway with our title sponsor, Asus. We gave away a $1,000 OLED laptop, a ZenBook laptop, to a randomly drawn winner. We'll do more contests, giveaways, and such on Tech It Out, so please keep listening. And if you do have any feedback on the show, or maybe you just have tech questions, you can hit me up on social media. I'll spell my name in a moment, but if you are on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, you can find me on those platforms to see my articles that I write and videos that I host, interviews for radio and podcasts like what you're hearing this hour. I write a tech tip of the day and that kind of stuff. So it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. I'm a bit stuffy because of the smoke from the wildfires that are affecting many cities in North America. But yeah, it's kicking me in the butt. But it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. And I look forward to saying hi to you online. I hope you're having a fantastic, whether you're celebrating 4th of July with some fireworks and cookouts and stuff with friends, or you're in Canada celebrating the Canada Day long weekend, enjoying some good grilled food and drinks with friends and so on. Hope the weather's great wherever you are as well. If you're taking photos over the long weekend, don't forget to properly back them up onto external storage. You don't have to pay for cloud subscriptions and all that when it's local. I always trust SanDisk, SD cards, USB thumb drives, solid state drives, and Western Digital external hard drives for long-term storage. There's lots of deals to be had. Head over to slickdeals.com to see the best deals on SanDisk and Western Digital storage. And when we return, we catch up with Mario Armstrong to talk about summer tech for the backyard. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. Now that we're in the heat of summer and spending a lot of time outdoors and in our backyards, if you're lucky enough to have one, digital lifestyle expert Mario Armstrong is with us, and he has a handful of trending products that you'll want to have this season to keep cool. Hey, Mario, good to chat with you. How you doing?
Hey, Mark, it's always good to be on with you, man, and it's in the summertime as well. So thanks so much for having me on. I'm excited because I partnered up with some great brands that can make sure you know what's cool this summer. It's great to hear your voice.
Likewise. Thanks for carving out some time to chat with us. Our listeners know that you're a regular on this program. So, Mario, why don't we start off with ways that we can save water, but also have a great looking lawn? It's not mutually exclusive.
That's right. And it's the juxtaposition. It's the question of the century right now with really what's happening everywhere with different temperatures and things happening to our lawns. Look, most of my neighbors' lawns are like brown. And mine and the neighbor beside me are like green. And everyone's wondering why. It's because we figured it out, people. And one of the things that you should look into is Moen's Smart Sprinkler Controller and the Smart Wireless Soil Sensors. It really helps you create this healthy lawn without wasting water. And you can do it all right from the app. And it really saves water with features like independent zone control. So you can have different zones in your lawn that may have more shade or more sun than others. So therefore, those areas should be getting less water or more water than others. And you got custom routines, you got weather skip. It senses that, oh, it's gonna rain, so we're not gonna use the water. And you also put in, when you pair it with their wireless soil sensors, these are little sensors that attach to what really looks like a garden stake. And you put it into the ground about maybe 1 inch to 5 inches, somewhere into the ground, for it to detect the moisture. And therefore, it kind of intelligently lets the system know, hey, this over here is dry, give it some water. This over here has a lot of moisture, doesn't need it.
It's so smart. You know, I saw this at the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas back in January, and it's great because it's great for the environment, great on your wallet, and it's convenient. And I also like that it's modular. You can add more if need be, those soil sensors.
It's true. And you would think something like this is going to be thousands of dollars or something like that, and you might have to like dig trenches. It's none of that. We're talking like $180, and the sensors start at about $69. Just go to Moen, MOEN.com, and you can find out more about that.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we may not mention prices for everything because it can fluctuate a little bit, but you can check it all out at inthenews.tv if you want to make a mental bookmark with that website. What we just heard about was the Moen Smart Sprinkler Controller and Smart Wireless Soil Sensors. All right, and then speaking of the outdoors, Mario, with so many activities not in the home this time of year, how do we keep the mosquitoes at bay?
It's a big question and a really personal one for me because I'm the only one at the cookout that seems to attract them.
Yeah, I can relate.
Everybody else is like, no, I don't feel anything. And I'm like, I feel like I'm getting stung everywhere. So, and I don't know what it is. I've tried different lotions, all kinds of stuff. So I've decided to get away from all of that.
It's your magnetic personality.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's why they're feeding on me like a frenzy. So I'm trying out Zevo's One Body Mosquito Plus Tick Repellent. What's really different about this, ZEVO is the name of it. What's really different is that it has a different active ingredient. It's called IR3535. Technically, it's really inspired from a naturally occurring amino acid, and it's odorless, it's non-greasy, you don't feel gross and sticky. It gives you, 8 hours of coverage from mosquitoes and ticks, and it doesn't have any DEET in it as well. So as a parent, that's important to me too, because I don't want that on my kids.
Yeah, good point. I read, by the way, a recent survey conducted by Zevo found that 71% of people suffer from a fear of bugs, which they call bugxiety. The top reason for this fear is bug bites and stings. No surprise there. Hey, Mario, on a related note, I was in the Amazon rainforest in June.
What?
Yeah, and I had to get yellow fever shots and typhoid and malaria pills and, Hep A and B. A lot of this was tied to mosquito bites, and my wife was joking because they tend to love me as well, like you, Mario. We're just sweet guys, I guess. And, thankfully it was pretty good. But this is something that I could have used.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, everything was fine. Yeah, so it's the Zevo On-Body Mosquito and Tick Repellent, and Zevo is ZEVO at zevoinsect.com. And while we will continue chatting with Mario Armstrong after a break coming up, you can see all of these products in action at inthenews.tv. That's the website where you'll see Mario talking about these backyard solutions. And there is more to come, as I mentioned. So inthenews.tv is the best website, the best URL to bookmark to see Mario demonstrate these products and talk about them, which is pretty cool since this is radio or podcast and you may not be able to see it. Hey, thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. And while I'm dishing out thank yous, I also want to acknowledge Visa, a great partner on this program. Did you know that online shoppers are 3 times more likely to enter an unfamiliar store if it displays a Visa logo? And customers are 5 times more likely to think a merchant is reputable. This is because Visa has invested billions over the years in fraud prevention. So you don't need to think twice about shopping at retail or online with your Visa card, nor should businesses be concerned about secure payments. Visa is deploying advanced technology to ensure customer data is not vulnerable, no matter where the transactions take place. This includes things like tokenization, pioneered by Visa, as one part of the solution, which reduces the risk of identity theft, because this technology replaces your cardholder info with a random alphanumeric code, so the merchant never sees your actual card number, yet ensures a fast transaction too. To learn more about Visa's work in protecting you and your purchases, head over to visa.com/security. When we return on Tech It Out, more with tech expert Mario Armstrong on his summer tech picks for the backyard. We already heard about the Moen Smart Sprinkler Controller and Smart Wireless Soil Sensors, Zevo On-Body Mosquito and Tick Repellent, and hey, some outdoor smart lights coming right up when we return on Tech It Out. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We We are chatting with Mario Armstrong, of course, digital lifestyle expert and regular contributor to this program. We are talking about summer trends to keep you cool, keep those mosquitoes at bay. And speaking of cool, what about a trend that can make a difference to our backyard space?
Oh, so I'm a big fan of upgrading our backyard spaces and really outside our homes just to make it like a nice, cool vibe and a mood, especially for the summer where you have more people doing cookouts, maybe you're doing some celebrations or people are just coming over, maybe you got movie night outside, whatever it may be. So I like Govee's new outdoor string light, H1, and it has over 60 preset modes so that you can customize your yard for any occasion or any mood. Each bulb, by the way, can flash 2 different colors at the same time if you wanted it to. It can respond to music and voice if you wanted it to kind of change and bounce. They're temperature resistant, they're waterproof, they last 25,000 hours. So what's really cool is you could put these up and then have, different lights. Maybe 4th of July, you'll do a red, white, and blue routine or something like that. And maybe the daughter has a birthday and you'll change it for something like that. And then Halloween comes around. Well, the lights are already up. Let's make the whole house orange if we wanted to. So I like that once it's up, it's set. And so your holiday lights are done, people. And you can control it all right from an app. You can use Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and the Govee Home app. Cost about $109. It's available on Govee.com and Amazon if you want to check it out.
All right. So your neighbors aren't going to be upset if you still have your Christmas lights up in February.
No.
Because you could just change the color. Change it to, pink and red for Valentine's Day.
What will be a problem, though, is that you will start to become the Joneses of the neighborhood because now you have this healthy green lawn because you use the mow and stuff. You're not complaining about ticks and mosquitoes. And then you got this great vibe around your house.
There you go. And all you need is a Traeger smoker and grill. And yeah, you're never going to get rid of the neighbors.
That's true.
There you go. Mario, let's chat about the best website to learn more. Govee.com, Govee.com. But there is a website as we wrap up, Mario, for us to see these products in action to get more info, right?
Yes, we got all the information over at our website, inthenews.tv. It's got links, video, everything that you need to see, inthenews.tv.
inthenews.tv. Very easy to remember. Mario, always great to chat with you. Hope you have a great rest of your summer outdoors with your jealous neighbors.
You too, my friend. Stay cool, stay chill, and have a great vibe with this summer.
Speaking of which, let me know what you're up to this 4th of July long weekend. Let me know where you're from. Always love hearing what city or town you're from and what state and with whom you're spending it. Feel free to post pics on social media and use the hashtag #TechItOut so I can easily find you. That's just hashtag #TechItOut, one word. Or you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that at Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. Again, that's Mark with a C, Saltzman with the Z. Love seeing photos of Tech It Out listeners. So we're all kind of, hanging out together virtually over this long weekend. I'll share some pics as well that you can look at while you're listening to this radio show on your local talk radio station, or if it's a podcast. And hey, speaking of podcasts, referrals go a long way. So do ratings, like clicking a little star rating on your favorite podcast platform. It's so appreciated. If you want to share the word about Tech It Out, tell a friend. Depending on the podcast platform you use, it's often pretty easy to share what you're listening to, either on social media or privately, maybe putting it in a text message or email or a DM, a direct message to friends saying, hey, check this out, or tech this out. Haha. So I appreciate it. And any reviews and ratings, it really does go a long way. So thanks in advance for considering that as Tech It Out is on the grow. We are now on more than 100 stations across the country, talk radio stations, as well as on all the podcast platforms, including, but not limited to, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker, and others. With that in mind, thank you to Radio America, my syndication partner on Tech It Out, and they're the ones responsible for uploading and managing the podcast every Friday or Saturday. And of course, thank you to ASUS, the title sponsor on this program. I know a lot of my friends, they call it ASUS, but it is technically ASUS, ASUS.com. They're the company that makes some stellar laptops, including the one we gave away last week. This is an OLED laptop with a gorgeous screen, kind of like those OLED TVs with amazing contrast as well as brightness and color, super thin, long battery life, instant boot up times, fast Wi-Fi, 6E connectivity, multiple ports along the side. Great stuff. ASUS does create technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. They also have desktops and monitors and smartphones, tablets, smartwatches. They've got that ROG or Republic of Gamers line of gear as well for hardcore gamers. asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Hey, I'm wishing you all a fantastic rest of your 4th of July long weekend, or Canada Day long weekend if you're north of the border. Be safe, have a great time, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.